Good morning. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about professional development, or as teachers call it, ProD. Um, the reason why I want to talk to you about it is I want to kind of explain a little bit about what our professional development is and then how it's going to work for me, because me as being the teacher in this classroom, I have to kind of constantly be looking for new ways to engage the students, get them working, get them excited about what they're learning. So first of all, what is professional development? Well, I believe that professional development is something that teachers have to really take charge of. It's kind of like part of us as being professionals, is we have to kind of know the things that we want support in and kind of the areas in teaching where we might be lacking. Or we're just maybe pursuing an interest or something that's going to really, something that can really kind of jazz up and change our class. So one thing I'm really excited about this year with my class is I feel like I've got this cool opportunity where we can kind of do a lot of hands-on learning and stuff like that. But the thing behind it is I also want them to really increase how they speak on and how they, how they can orally explain what they're learning and what they're seeing and observing and stuff. There's also a whole bunch of other stuff in behind it that's the government would call curricular competencies, and that would be like being able to work well in a group, because a lot of the stuff that we're going to be looking at today is not really something you can just sit down alone and do. I mean, you can, but we just don't have the supplies so that every kid would get their own. So just dealing with challenges, because it's not like I'm going to give them a set of instructions that tell them exactly how I want things to be done. I like kids to be able to try to explore and figure out and test and try again, because I think that's really kind of the process of learning anyways, right? We try something out, we see if it works. If it doesn't work, then we look at it and try it again. And I think that's what, if we want our students kind of, understanding how that process works. All of the stuff that we're going to look at today also kind of gets into coding a little bit, and building up the students' knowledge about how coding works and how you can build code and stuff like that. And if you've listened to the news at all, you have heard that they're really talking about how coding is becoming like a big future skill. So I think this is kind of a neat way to kind of get the kids entered into it and see how it goes. So I hope you enjoy my video of our ProD Day. Stay there.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I want to see if I can hit you.
This is Spiro abuse.
Turbo works. Zach Block. Are you just going one code at a time?
I'm just using the presets.
These are the codes.
Yeah.
Watch this. Watch.
So the pen is the code.
That's the tornado. Is the code. That's a tornado.
Ah.
There we go. Tornado.
So
And then the next code is turbo boost. Yeah, when it passes by, it could go on turbo speed.
Oh, sweet. So it just goes along the track until it hits the next thing,
Not detected.
and then does that activity.
Pivoted.
On what you have here, you can design your game. So if you wanted all of this to be grass, and then you wanted all your coins up here, enemies here, and then your water down low,
Okay.
you would go and you would take a picture of it.
Yeah.
And then, so let's just make a little one right now.
And I think that and now we're taking their job completely. They're
It like
and
trying to
then
capture
they
it.
give us the playtime.
Do is first term make your character, second term make your train,
And third term,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
I
it
feel
could be
this
like a
is-
year plan.
I think that's what I'm gonna do.
Really?
It would be.
And I was like, Roger, I'm gonna need your help pulling out kids.
And you could even bring like storytelling and stuff into it, right?
Totally.
Writing.
Oh yeah.
Very cool.
It's actually this.
Green and green or purple and purple.
Hey, what about this?
Yeah. So if your black wire is going to the no,
No,
you
this
want to
has
put
to
your
go
red
to
wire in the
Gotcha.
purple, and then you might have to switch your.
What about purple and blue?
Oh, you can use any. Yeah, that's
So
fine.
what color?
As long as they're not touching each other,
And so your long
should
wire
then it
is in
should
the
work.
purple?
Turn it around and see if that works. There you
Oh,
go. See? So now you've
It's
got a.
Luke Skywalker.
Now you've got a finished circuit. There you go.
Shoo, we're fighting.
Nice. Yeah, exactly.
Dark side and light side.
Nice design features here. So what we tried to do is we tried to put some skewers along the back just to support her nest. Man, it's looking like a nest now. And now we're working on making it look like a tree. Hey, so it's the end of the day. Well, almost the end of the day. I probably got about an hour left to prep or so, things to get ready for this week. But I just wanted to do kind of a final debrief of our day. It was lots of fun. You can see I'm a little bit tireder and a little bit sweatier than I was this morning. We started the morning off by looking at some of the toys, and that's some of the footage that you guys saw with some of the new robotics and things like that. And the major focus was coding. And kind of like I was explaining at the beginning of the video, it's definitely like a government initiative to get students kind of thinking about coding more and as a possible job of the future, working with computers and kind of playing with objects to kind of get them starting to think about it. So there's lots of stuff that we saw today that was kind of robotics and coding based. I was really jazzed about all of the things that we saw. There were some, like you guys saw the sparks, the Spiro sparks. There's the Ozo bots. There was the Bloxels, the Osmo, which is like the program that you can use. My favorite new thing of the day, though, was the Bloxels. That was the one that looked like, basically it looked kind of like a light bright or a puzzle thing. There was just like little tiny colored blocks, and they got put into the slots. But the cool thing about it, I didn't really get to show it in the video, is that because we had issues downloading the app, but you create the picture or the image that you want on there, and then it becomes a part of a game that you're building. So you kind of shine up your iPad or your phone, and it kind of does this augmented reality thing where it converts the block image, the pixel image that you just created, and then you choose whether you want it to be a character or a level in your game. And then the more stuff you add to it, it actually adds that kind of those layers to your video game. So you get to create like what the character looks like, what it does. There's special blocks to show where coins were and where detours were and things to show jumping and actions and stuff like that. So I thought that one was really cool from a storytelling aspect, and getting kids to think about what they'd want their characters to look like and what they want them to go through and what the bad guys would want to look like, and kind of like building a story that way. Our curriculum, and then we spent the afternoon working within our grade groups and working within our kind of buddy groups, trying to figure out what specifically we would use and kind of actually do some real planning about how we're going to use these materials. So my plan with my group is to start with the hour of code, which happens in December, but I think we're going to try to get a head start on it so that the kids are pretty comfortable for it by December. And then I kind of want to try the Spiros. I think those are going to be really neat for the kids. That girls were really interested in how the Spiros worked, and they had a lot of fun with that. So that's good, because I think we need to get more girls into coding. And the big message I wanted to make today's video about would be just that I think it's really important that people understand that we're not just playing with this stuff just to play with it and have a good day. And I mean, it was lots of fun. I did have a good time. But I'm also being really thoughtful in what I'm doing and trying to figure out and assess what's going to work and what's not, and where to go with these new materials. I mean, the reality is that the government has spent a ton of money on this stuff to send to our schools, and the Surrey School District has. And if we don't spend time learning how to use it, then it's just going to sit in a cupboard somewhere and it's going to rot. And I'm really glad we got this time today to work on it, and I'm really excited to see what we're going to do next. So thanks for watching.